Well, good morning announcements. I'm William McAllister. Today for lunch, we're going to have chicken noodle soup, dinner roll, fruit and veggie bar, and tomorrow's breakfast will be a donut. Just a reminder that the athletic department is selling old football jerseys for $50. Close-up deposits due November 15th and final payment due January 15th. There will also be a book club meeting for both groups November 16th in Miss Whiting's room / the library. That is all for morning announcements. Please stay tuned for Carly and Ashlyn's drawing on Bax and Owen and Landon's music podcast.
Welcome, Bobcast. Welcome to this week's episode. And today I have Ashlyn, Yaslyn, and Maria, and myself, Carly. And we're going to be doing a little game. We're going to be drawing on each other's backs. And we're going to see what the end result looks like compared to the beginning result. So here we go.
bensound.com.
Guys, show your. This is the original, and this is how it ended. Okay, that's round one. We're gonna do round two now. Okay, round two.
bensound.com. bensound.com.
Alright, y'all done? Alright, make sure to show it, guys.
Okay, guys.
Oh. This is what I got.
Okay, and then we're gonna have a fight. Okay, part three, in the final part.
bensound.com. bensound.com.
Done.
Alright, let's see what you do. What?
I drew a flower! Wait, mine's kind of like a tulip, I guess.
Mine is very artistic.
Wait, so here's the beginning, and that's the end. What is that? And the middle. Okay, and that concludes our Bobcast. Thanks for tuning in.
Hello there, and welcome to me and Landon's new podcast where we talk about music. So I think the number one topic that we should talk about, which is something we were already talking about, is Post Malone.
Post Malone. What is there to talk about this guy?
He fell off.
I think
after
he did,
Circles.
honestly.
I don't-
Chemical's decent. It's up there, but I think he should have just stopped making music after he made Circles.
I think like everything after his hip hop rap era is terrible.
Yes, so true. Country does not suit him like as much as we thought it would.
I didn't think Post Malone could have ever done country. And I'm glad I'm proven right now.
Yeah.
But, and another thing is like Young Gravy. He's starting to dabble into country music, but it's also like a rap country.
Yeah,
mix.
it's like a.
It's a half and half, you know.
Nowadays, your country music's more like, you know, you got Shabuzi and
Yeah.
all them like young rappers that are transitioning to country, but making it more like an upbeat EDM country version of music.
Which people, it's basically a country version of rapping.
Yes, pretty much.
And people didn't like that when they added rap into metal.
Mm-mm.
Like new metal, like Limp Bizkit, Korn, Slipknot.
Yep.
Those are probably some of my favorite bands. I like new metal. I think it's a good genre of metal. But people hate it because it's like, oh, you're mixing in two things that shouldn't combine, rap and metal. But
So true.
at the same time, like, I think that they're closer than country and rap.
So true.
Just the everything about them, in my opinion.
I mean, even with like what you were talking about with the rap, is there's younger people that are trying to, you know, become up and coming stars.
Yeah.
And then you have all these like influencers out here, YouTube people trying to make music.
Yeah.
It's
And
like-
I think the only person we have to blame on YouTubers trying to make music is Logan Paul and Jake Paul.
And
Both
Jake
of them. It's their fault.
Yes.
Entirely
Yes.
their fault.
I mean, there's TikTokers out there that can rap pretty good, but they don't produce their own music.
No. And I
They
think
just
another
rap on
thing,
TikTok
too.
Live every night.
Or I've seen like people doing freestyles of like people you never heard, and I'm like, man,
Really good
I wonder if
artists
this
that I listen
person actually made music, but they don't.
Really good artist that I've listened to, and I still do listen to. His name's Dax.
Dax?
DAX. He's pretty good. He makes a song called "Dear Alcohol." Fuck, I love that song.
That
Such a good song.
is it like a country?
It's
song?
got a mix between. There's parts where it's country and there's parts where it'll be upbeat kind of rap.
Yeah.
If I could play it in school, I would, but
Probably not.
can't do that.
Also copyright issues. Probably
Exactly.
my favorite band right now. That's tough actually. It might be. You know what, I'll look.
And I'm honestly in a band now. I'm starting a band. We call ourselves Crash Out.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
it's gonna be like a
Who's all in this?
70s metal, like classic rock,
Like Black Sabbath?
like just like simple stuff like AC/DC and
Oh,
Guns
okay.
N' Roses and
I think out of all of like the bands that I listen to right now, it's tied between like Slipknot and System of a Down.
mine is more of Godsmack and
Which-
Misfits.
Yeah. Oh, Misfits I like.
My dad kind of got me on Misfits and Godsmack, so I can blame him for that.
I've never really listened to Godsmack. Misfits, I've heard a few of their songs, and I thought
Yeah.
that they were good. One band that I think a lot of people, it's like big in the metal world, but outside of the metal world, nobody knows about it.
It's so true.
It's Cannibal Corpse.
Yep.
They're such a heavy metal band, and it's great. I like it a lot.
Because what put me on Misfits was Dad. Last night I was playing music and my dad said, "Put on some Misfits, Bury Her Bones."
Yeah,
And I was like, "Okay." And I started listening to it. I was like, "Wow, this is actually really good."
that's how I kind of got started. My dad put on, I can't remember if it was, no, my dad put on Limp Bizkit. I think it was either Nookie or Rollin'.
Mm-hmm.
And we're listening to it, and I was like, this is kind of good music. So then I started listening to it, and then it went from Limp Bizkit to Korn to Slipknot, and then it just kind of exploded.
One thing I learned is the lead singer that Ozzy was
Yeah.
he what, Black Sabbath? Is that what it was?
The lead, yeah, Ozzy.
I thought he
Black
had his
Sabbath.
own separate.
He did. So the history of Black Sabbath is essentially Black Sabbath existed,
Mm-hmm.
and during the Black Sabbath era, that's when Ozzy Osbourne bit the head off a bat.
Oh.
Like that incident, that happened, and then after it was like some point they broke up, and Ozzy just continued to make music on his own. I don't really know why, but that's just what I know. It's
confusing.
And yet both him by himself and the band that he had made good music.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta look at War Pigs, Iron Man, Paranoid, and then you look at Crazy Train, No More Tears. And
Crazy Train's a good one, though.
All FFA members need to go to the lunchroom during Bobcat Academy for a meeting. All FFA members need to go to the lunchroom during Bobcat for a meeting. Thank you.
And I'm in band, you're not, but the songs that we play in band are like, Crazy Train, and we got your more classical.
Yeah, Smoke on the Water.
Smoke on the Water, Crazy Train, Centuries.
Centuries.
It's kind of in between.
It's not classical.
It's like it's between. It's old enough to where it could be
It's
considered.
It came out in 2010. It was made by Fall Out Boy.
Yeah, I guess that is true, but
It came out in, like,
it
2010
transitions from
to
Crazy Train and your Smoke on the Water, your classics into
to your newer music.
To your 2010s Centuries and
Well, not even.
Funky Town and then
No,
what
I
we
think
have
out
now
of-
is like California Girls, High Hopes.
I think out of all your songs, that Centuries, but then like California Girls and High Hopes, those are later. But like Funky Town, that came out in the 80s.
Exactly. So you got. What I'm saying is
You got a mixture of old music that's still good, like
that
Sweet
people still
Caroline.
listening to. Sweet Caroline, that's a really good one that people enjoy
People
listening.
think that came out in like the 2000s or the 90s. That came out in 1979. Like that's how I think different people's perspective of music is.
They listen to a song and it's like they ask questions on when it came out because they think it came out nowadays, not knowing that it actually came out in like 80s, 70s.
Like I heard
like there was a song that we were listening to in Miss Harley's class. It was something about, it was like I Got You Babe. It was from like 60s and I didn't know that. So
well, time for today. We'll see you later.
Like that.
If we ever do upload that would actually be a good podcast.